Good evening, kings, queens, peasants, and in-betweens. I apologize. I was a little caught up in that crank from 2016. Oh my gosh, cherish the day. Featuring our guest that's in studio, my boo Kimise Lee. We're definitely happy that you stepped on in right here to No Gray Area. It's your girl, Monique, the voice of the people. And y'all already know what happens on Tuesdays. Tuesdays are meant for truth, transparency, and light. So let me invite y'all there because y'all know my weeks are a little crazy, right? So this week was super crazy. So Wednesday, Soulful Sounds. Thursday, I think I took Thursday off. Yep. Friday, Ant Farm featuring top 5 music. Saturday, Soundproof. Sunday. I went to Project Out. And then Monday, our next project featuring Steve Wood, BJ came through, RB came through, Bear Wade came through. It was a whole situation, guys. We definitely had a good time. Shout out to Santana Malls, who definitely stepped in the building and got to experience the culture up front. We definitely had a great time. So, and Saturday, shout out to the homie Big G. I cannot go on without mentioning this. He dropped his Uptown Hard Mix this Saturday at City State Brewery. Backyard did 2 cranking sets. It was super dope. It was amazing. We definitely had a good time out this Saturday. I dropped Hard One on Them Damn Fans YouTube channel yesterday at 12. So I'm going to give y'all a heads up. Part 2 drops tomorrow. And then we'll be Pleasure Wednesdays. Or we crank Wednesdays. But whatever it is, y'all give it tomorrow, alright? 12 o'clock, second set of Backyard. Definitely a lot of cranking. It was just a weekend for me. I didn't get a lot of footage. I did get that footage. I didn't grab a lot of footage. I also have a short clip that I grabbed from Serious Company when I went to sleep. To crank mostly percussion with PB and West. So I'll drop that soon too for you guys. Thank y'all so much for liking and subscribing and sharing Them Damn Fans YouTube channel, for tuning in to all things that we drop. And don't forget, while I'm talking about dropping, the latest and greatest in Mitchcraft attire, y'all. www.crankrock.com or meet us in store. 9244 East Hampton Drive, Capitol Heights, Maryland, Suite 201, baby. We are open Wednesday through Sunday. We open at noon daily. Latest and greatest in Mitchcraft attire, socks, hats. We got the cute compression tights. We got the sports bras for the ladies. Like, it's a whole vibe. So make sure y'all stop through. Make sure you guys stop through and get you something fly to wear here, there, everywhere. And my weekend. All right, here's the weekend. We're going to run it down real quick. So Wednesday was Soulful Sounds. Thursday, I took Thursday off. I needed to rest Thursday because I knew I wasn't going to get another day off. Friday, Ant Farm featuring Top 5. Saturday, Soulful Sounds. But that was after Backyard. We'll get back in the Backyard in a second. Sunday was brunch. I went to brunch at Cloud. And then Monday, RNS Project. So let's rewind. Whoop, we're going to go back. So Shout out to Big G. He dropped his Uptown Hard mix, which is the newest in his line of adult beverages. That's the only way I can word it. Adult beverages, guys. He already has Flavor from the Pocket, which is one of my favorite ales. But the Uptown Hard mix he dropped this Saturday. 2 cranking sets from Backyard. It was definitely a good time. Food trucks outside, nothing but a great vibe. Shout out to Big G and Backyard for making that a whole situation and event.
How do you get the product?
City State Brewery. So City State Brewery is in Northeast. I do know that BK Miller also had Flavor from the Pocket at one point in time. I'm not sure. They have Uptown Hard Mix too. Well, you can get them both from BK Miller. Hey, y'all, if you're local, head on over to Clinton. Go to BK Miller. Get you some Uptown Hard Mix, which is the newest, and it's bomb, y'all. If you're not really a drinker, add some lemonade to it to mix it down for you, but it's bomb. His promise is you're going to have a good night if you drink it. So I think you should drink it to have a good night. And then, of course, we're right back here in store. In studio with my boo, Kimise Lee.
Hey.
The Songbird, ladies and gentlemen, the queen of crab pies. It's so much we're going to get into in this interview, y'all. How are you?
Oh, man, I am blessed and highly favored, as they say. It's such a blessing just to be here every day that I'm able to plant my feet on the ground is a blessing.
Indeed. So let's start with a little history about Miss Songbird. What brought you into the culture of go-go and what year?
Well, I have been featuring with Chuck Brown's band, Bits and Pieces. A family friend of mine, Glenn Ellis, who played the bass for Chuck Brown at the time, had me coming in and featuring with them at the Ibex. So you know how
one of my
long
favorite
ago that
spots.
was.
Party on the balcony.
Yes. And, he had me coming in featuring, doing some things with Chuck as well. So that was my initial first start, but Ronald Moten at the time came up to the Madness, and I was working. And shout out to Ed Van because he gave me an opportunity, that lasted a lifetime. So I'll always be an uptown girl, Madness, kicking it. But, I love Mitchcraft too. I love everybody, all the urban, gear stores around the city. But yeah, Ronald Moten came up to the store and he said, I'm forming a band called A Touch of Essence. And
Yes.
he said, I want to know if you're interested. It'll be yourself, Mike Muse on the front line, and we'll build around that. So I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? Singing is my love. That's what I love to do. Took that opportunity. And we had a great run. I think at the time we was going up against Maisha and the Hip Huggers. So we
Rest
was
in
giving
peace,
them a run for their
Maisha.
money. Yes, rest in peace to my
Yes.
sister. Much love, always. But we had a few people come through. We had a rapper by the name of Wildflower. We had Stinky Dink. We had Chia Lee. Myself, Mike Muse. So it was a great unit. We had a nice run as well. Then, things kind of, went a little south, and we decided that we were going to keep the band going, but we were going to change the name to First Touch.
Okay.
So we continued to go on doing shows and stuff, and Mike and myself managed the band. But, dealing with a group of guys, what I'm saying, it could be difficult, and being a part of the band and trying to manage a band was a lot, at that time. So I never forget, I got a phone call from Greg McNeils, and he said, so the Thoughts looking for a singer. You think you interested? And at the time, things was just going kind of crazy with the whole First Touch thing. I love my brothers, but, I was like, man, this is, weighing heavy on me. I think this is my way out. And so I decided to give it a shot and became a part of Subtle again. That was like a almost 10 to 12 year run with them. At the time, I think Michelle and Pratt had left
Yes.
and formed their own band called The Fam. So I brought Chi Lee with me to settle.
Shout out to Ali the Great,
Yes,
as he likes
my
to be
brother.
called.
So it was me, Chi Lee, Day Day, Taj Mahal, and we was doing it for a minute, and then I think after a while, once things didn't go so well with the fam, Michelle and Pratt ended up coming back to the band.
Okay.
So Walk was like, well, at this point, you know what I'm saying, I ain't letting nobody go. We just gonna rock it out. You know what I'm saying?
With the whole mob.
With the whole mob. And from start to finish, though, it was truly a great run. I mean, we had some great times and great venues around the city, like Club U, 94th Aero Squadron, Carter Viz.
The Aero Squadron was one of my favorites.
Yes. What was it? The steakhouse out there in
Safari Steakhouse.
Safari Steakhouse. Yep.
That was one of my spots too.
Yes. So yeah, man, had a great run with Subtle as well, and then one of the most worst things that could have ever happened to me in my life happened. I lost my mom. My mom and I was very, very, very close, and I decided to step down for a while because it was just a lot for me to deal with. I was hurting really, really bad. So I felt like I would be doing a disservice to, the fans, the band, because I wasn't mentally there. I was going through. So
you stop and take that break. And what does that break look and feel like for Kimise Lee? Not the Songbird, but Kimise Lee. How does that look and feel for you?
It was a tough time. I had to take time to grieve. I had to take time to understand, what had taken place because, like I said, my mom and I were very close. And to lose her, man, I didn't want to go on. I didn't want to live life without my mom. My mom was such a great woman. And, I possess a lot of her, period. Her looks, her traits, her personality, everything. And it was a tough moment, and I was living by myself too, So again, it was nights where I just had to get on my knees and just pray and just ask God to bring me through, just cry out to him and be like, Lord, I need you, right now. If I ever needed you before, I need you right now. And taking that time, to really, really heal. And that was the first time I ever experienced death, like close up front and personal. Right. So, I will never be the same. I'm still messed up. And I still have my days where I just have to just cry and just be like, man, I miss her so much. But, I just try. I try to, go on and push through it. And going through that, though, it made me stronger. It made me, understand death a little bit better, and it taught me too, that people in death, people can be messed up, man. Whether it be family, whether it be friends, people have all kinds of intentions, that come up when you lose someone. So again, it was a different experience for me, but it taught me a lot as well. And even in that time, when I chose not to sing and just, get myself together and heal best as I could, Dirk and I was always cool. And at the time, he was looking for a female singer. And even when I was a part of Settle Still, Dirk was like, man, what's up, won't you come sing with me, And at the time, Walk was like, man, I really don't want y'all featuring with nobody else, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to be committed, be committed, you know. And I respected that, and I respected him because we've always had a great friendship. You know what I'm saying? When you can have a great friendship in business, you know, with someone, you know what I'm saying, you honor that, you know what I'm saying, that's sacred. And me and Walk never had a walk-in. We never argued. We never, you know, had any kind of disagreements, man. He's like one of the best managers I've ever had in my life. Awesome. Even till this day, you know what I'm saying, Walk is so helpful, you know, with my success in my career. And I can say the same for Dirk, too. You know, if I call both of them up and ask questions and things of that nature on the business side of, you know, this go-go realm, and when I wanted to start my own band and things like that, you know, I had questions because, again, that was new for me. So it was certain things that I didn't know. So for them to have done it and experienced it, you know, I was like, hey, you know, I got questions, you know, and they were right there and they walked me through, you know, without hesitation. So I truly appreciate that. But once I had that time to, you know, sit out, things, you know, things don't stop.
They don't.
So at the time, I think they had gotten Kendra. They had went through the whole familiar thing. I think they had Halima and them, you know, starting out, I think. But they ended up with Kendra and Steve Roy. So at that time, I'm just like, wow, you know, it's like a whole new Settle. Like, Settle done been through so many different transitions. I would have felt awkward trying to come back into that.
Right.
I was like, you know, they've already, like, gone on and built something else, and it's great, and it's working, you know, so why come in between that?
When it's already established and in place.
Exactly. You know, and although I know Walk would have welcomed me back with open arms, you know, but that's just, you know, how I felt. So, and again, you know, it was one of those days I got a phone call from Dirk, and he was like, hey, why don't you come sing a song with Tacoma, man? So I was like, I don't know. But I ended up, you know, going up, singing a song. And when I tell you, this is probably the worst that I've ever done in singing a song. And it was a simple song at that, Is It The Way by Jill Scott. And
Kimise, what happened, boo?
I think I can't really say shy, but me being away for so long, like I had to build up that, you know, that courage and, you know, get back to that familiar place, you know, so it wasn't good. It really wasn't good. But Dirk was nice about it. He was like, oh, no, man, you did good. But, you know, that's because he wanted me on the team. So I was like, okay, well, I need the opportunity to come back and redeem myself because I'm going to do this song and I'm going to do it right. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I came back, man, did the song, killed it. And he was like, that's the Song Bird I'm talking about. So from there, you know, again, it felt great, the whole vibe. You know, it was the vibe. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we continued with that vibe. And, man, we just, you know, the chemistry between us was great on stage. And, you know, everybody loved it. And, you know, at the time, I think, you know, Sean Campbell from A Step Above the Rest, she told him, she was like, look, nigga, if you don't get no female singer, you out of here. So he had to get a female singer. Mm. So he's like, man, what you gonna do? So I was like, hey, I'm on a team. Let's do this.
Here. We are the
Let's
vibing.
rock. I'm here. Let's do it. And man, one of the best runs ever. You know, for me, I truly enjoyed my vibe run. So and as well as my Settle run, you know, I wouldn't trade it, you know, for anything. You know, the only thing that I do regret about, you know, being in the bands is missing time with family. Because all the cookouts and all the family gatherings and get-togethers, everybody's like, where's Kimise?
New Year's Eve,
oh,
Christmas
she's singing.
Eve,
She's singing with the band.
Yes. She on stage, girl.
She's singing with the band.
But she left her potato salad, but she on stage.
Right. But yeah, you know, so that's the only thing, you know, because life is short, you know, and I've lost a lot of loved ones that I wish I would have had the opportunity to spend more time with. But so from vibe to now, you know, I'm gonna say, man, all good things come to an end, you know. And Dirk and I, you know, we had our differences. That's my brother, though. I love him to death. But you know, I decided that I wanted to do my own thing, and God dropped in my spirit to do an all-female band. So I was like, man, that's gonna be tough. You know, how am I gonna do that? You know, a lot of people say females are not easy to work with, which I disagree. It just depends on who you work with.
And how you work with them.
Exactly. That's very important. Very important, because you know, I said to myself, I want to be able to treat people how I would want to be treated.
Yes.
And with Inspired Soul, how it came about, my cousin Shannon, I called her up that plays drums for Belladonna. I said, Shannon, man, you know, God dropped this in my spirit. I really want to do this. I want to form this all-female band, but I don't know a lot of female musicians. So I was like, can you please help me? So she was like, I got you, cuz. I got you, cuz.
That's
I
her.
was like, all right, cool. I never forget it, you know, that phone call. But, you know, she turned me on to some great young ladies. And, you know, even with that, other people that I ran into and, you know, was able to pull the band together, audition some folks. And we've gone through some transitions as well. Not to say that we won't go through more, but, you know, I love the unit that I have now. You know, Deanna Hawkins on keyboards, Kendra Rutledge on bass, Keisha Chaos on congos.
My sister loves me.
Yes, Twink on drums. And Twink get ready to drop that load. I'm like, girl, you is... But listen, she don't miss a beat playing them drums pregnant.
Really?
Yes. And I love it. I look back at her and all like really, chick. But she be tearing them drums up though. I love it. So you know, we'll probably have somebody, you know, filling in until she's able to come back. I think once we reach August, you know, that'll be her time out.
So an all-female band, what was your premise or your thought process behind it? Because I know you said God dropped it in your spirit.
Yes.
So he drops it in your spirit. You call and you ask for help. What are you thinking behind it? Because truth be told, as females, some of us can be hard to work with, especially the ones with larger than life egos or energies, or the ones that are established musicians, male or female, truth be told, human beings. How do we go about this? Because now you're managing people before you get to manage the band. So how do you go about it? How did you work through it? Somebody might need help. So what worked for Kimise?
To remain humble, you know, throughout every situation, because every situation is not going to be easy. Every person you deal with is not going to be easy. You know, people have certain standards. They have certain things that they live by. So, you know, being a manager and taking all of that in, you know, sometimes I have to find myself not taking things personal.
That's it.
And really try to look at the broad spectrum of things. And, you know, even not hold it against the individual, because you're entitled to feel how you feel. And, you know, just deal with it the best way that I know how, so that it doesn't cause any confrontation, you know, in the band. Because at the end of the day, you still have to work with this person, you know, him or her. And you just have to still handle things in a respectful manner, you know, always, at all times.
It's that part for me. So you get your unit together. Y'all start practicing the first unit you had. Transition time comes. How do you deal with it? Because transition can be hard.
Is not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Again, you know, you have to realize, because I had someone, you know, who almost tore my whole band apart. But when you have negative energy like that that's coming into a situation, you definitely have to get rid of it. And if you don't, it will, tear down what you built up, your hard work, your sweat, your tears. You definitely don't want to see that go down the drain or go up in flames. So at all costs, you got to protect what's yours. So, at the end of the day, if it's something that's coming in between something that I've built, I definitely can't stand back or stand by and just let it go or sweep it under the rug. No, this has to be dealt with. So, at the time, I just felt like ain't no really coming back from this. This is not going to work. So, it was kind of easy though, because me saying that it's not going to work it's not going to work for me either. So, great. There you have it. So, yeah.
So then
that was it.
So now we rebuilding.
Yeah.
And the rebuilding process, again, it's not an easy one. Mm-hmm. You have to bring someone in to take that person's place. Mm-hmm. Unless you already had somebody that was learning whatever position, music, whatever. How do you go through that while still actively having shows? How does that work? Or do you take a hiatus from your shows? How do you work through it?
Oh, no, I don't take no hiatuses. I'm like, we gonna make it work, and I like to, make sure that, being consistent with, making sure my girls eat. So definitely if there's an opportunity that comes along and I feel like I can replace someone or, use someone that I know that is capable enough to come in and sit in with me, then, we keep it moving, we keep it rolling. So, yeah.
So speaking of keeping it rolling, Inspired Soul, working on new music in studio, what's going on?
Well, we are not right now, and only because, it took a matter of me, with a life scare, dealing with that, health issues, trying to get myself back together to the point where I can manage, and we're back doing shows and stuff like that. So now, is the opportunity now that I'm well enough. We can put that in place with working on new music and getting in the studio and stuff. But, definitely that's something to look forward to, but we're not, presently doing it right now.
So let's talk about the health scare. I know a portion of it. I wasn't privy to go through all of it. I know a portion. So let's go. I don't even know how to start it. I know the conversation we had and what we talked about. I remember you sitting in the emergency room for a very long time, bleeding out, and deciding, I'm going to walk back to my car, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to try it again later. So how do we get to that point? Because I think I was upset with you that day. Because I could not, I'm like, she's leaking and she's walking like, and it's not a short distance. But I know you felt like you had nothing else to do. So let's talk about what happened. Breathe, love. We got it.
I had COVID in December. And I developed a cough that was so bad. I have chronic bronchitis, first of all. So to have COVID, when you have other underlying issues, it becomes a bit more challenging. So I developed this cough that I could not get rid of no matter what I did, no matter what I took. I had coughed so hard that I busted a blood vessel in my nose. My nose started bleeding for days. I couldn't stop it. I called the ambulance twice. They came to my house. They refused to take me to the hospital because they said, Miss Lee, you're just going to be sitting in the hallway. The hospitals are so backed up. So we advise you to try to get your nosebleed under control at home. So I said, okay. It's no avail. I could not stop this nosebleed. I had 6 urgent care visits. And at the 7th visit, they said to me, Miss Lee, we have to call the ambulance for you because it's nothing more we can do for you. You're going to bleed out. So I said, okay. Ambulance came and got me from urgent care. Took me to the new PG hospital. They had me sitting there for 7 hours before being seen. And again, they plugged my nose, the same thing that urgent care was doing. And this time they plugged my nose with a larger plug. And it felt like my nose had cracked. Like I didn't have like no kind of pain medicine or anything. He just like shoved it up my nose. So I'm thinking, okay, I endured this pain. And I mean, I was in so much pain. I had not had no sleep or anything. But I'm just thinking to myself, okay, this has to work. I get home. By the time I get home, I see that the gauze is like saturating again with blood. So I said, man, this is just going to fall out like all the rest of them. So at this time, I'm irritated. I'm frustrated. I'm tired. Hadn't had any sleep. So I was just like, I just want to take a shower and lay down. Biggest mistake. The steam from the shower like triggered the nosebleed to bleed even harder to the point where I started bleeding through my eyes, which was very scary for me. And, you know, going through all of this again, you know, I'm driving myself around to the hospitals. I didn't have nobody, you know, to take me or anything. And through 3 different hospitals, 7 hours here, 9 hours here, back and forth. Finally, they see me and they say, Miss Lee, wow, you've been through a lot. This is not your regular nosebleed. We have to do emergency surgery on you. So I said, okay. But when I finally wake up, I'm not realizing that it's like a week and a half that has gone by. And not realizing that I was on life support for 4 days. Not realizing that my body had been through so much trauma. My body swelled up from the anesthesia that they gave me. I woke up kicking and screaming, pulling out tubes is what they said. I don't remember any of that. But they put me back under again. And they had to restrain me because of that. And so many things transpired. You know, like I had fluid gushing up, you know, that they couldn't explain. I had a cloud on my lungs that they couldn't explain. It was just so much that was going on. My pressure was through the roof, 200 over 100 and something. They couldn't get it under control. They were scared I was going to have a stroke. So, you know, again, you know, and I'm feeling like I'm really literally fighting for my life because I can't breathe. By them doing the surgery, both of my nasal passages are blocked.
Yeah.
And I had drainage coming from my nose down my throat. And they had me laying flat on my back.
So that's choking you. So how can you breathe?
How can I breathe?
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't even sleep. I was scared to go to sleep out of fear of death. And it was like everything, when I would close my eyes, everything would be just black. Everything on the television would turn black. It was like when I opened my eyes, I saw pretty flowers, vivid colors, animals. But the moment I start to like close my eyes, again, everything would just black out. So that's what kept me awake. And the doctors was like, they were very encouraging, the nurses, I should say. They was like, Miss Lee, we need to get your pressure under control, because if we don't, you're going to stroke. And they was like, what is bothering you? What is ailing you? And I was like, I'm scared. I was like, I don't want to die. And it was like, Miss Lee, you're not going to die. Who told you you're going to die? I said, nobody told me that, but I just don't want to die. Y'all told me I was on life support for 4 days, and I'm just scared. I'm afraid. So they was like, okay, we need you to calm down. And my mind was just going crazy because I still had a lot of anesthesia in my system.
So you were still loopy and not able to think clearly.
Yeah. But the nurse said, she said, you're going to be just fine. My dad, she kept telling me, you need to call your dad. Your dad is so worried about you. And she said, you have all these people that keeps calling the hospital. She was like, I don't even know how they got the number, Miss Lee. She said, it's only 2 people that's supposed to have a code, your father and your sister. So she was like, you got a lot of people that love you. We can't keep answering this phone. So I was like, oh, I feel bad. But I called my dad, and before we hung up, and he said, Mies, I'm not going to hold you. I know you're trying to get yourself together. He said, I'm just so happy, to hear your voice. And he said, nurse, before I go, can I please pray for my daughter? And she said, of course, I'm not going to get in the way of that. So my dad prayed, and I believe the nurse was very spiritual. After we hung up, this woman went into overdrive to save my life. When I say she went into overdrive, she did everything that she possibly could to save my life. I don't want to go into detail about it, but that woman was an angel, as well as my other nurses. Like, they did everything that they could to make sure that I had life. And I thank God for that. And the point of me going through therapy, just even learning how to walk again, and walking up and down steps, and proving to them that I was worthy of getting out of ICU. I was determined. The nurse was like, Miss Lee, just make it until 7 o'clock. I need you to make it until 7 o'clock. So I said, okay. And I stayed awake. I didn't go to sleep. They gave me nutrition. They was like, you haven't eaten in weeks, so we need you to get some nutrition in your body. Which I was so afraid. Because I couldn't even breathe, let alone eat.
I do not want to choke while swallowing my food.
And I had food coming through my nose and everything. It was bad. But again, I thank God. I give God all the glory, all the people that prayed for me. I had over 500 messages in my inbox, probably more. But, people was calling my phone, and just to be able to look on social media and see all the love, all the support, that people were pouring out, from the go-go community to just friends and family. Man, you all don't know what that meant to me. That helped me gain strength. That helped me to be able to come up out of the situation that I was in. So I say thank you to everyone who thought it not robbery to pray for me, or just think about me, or if you did something for me. I don't want to go into naming names because it was so many people. And you and I know, I called you, we had a conversation. I was scared.
And what did I tell you?
I don't even remember.
Good.
But I know you had my back.
Yeah, the thing about it is, it's already hard enough in this community. And there are people who don't really know how to deal with the human emotion side, because they see you as Kimise the artist. You're the artist. You're like you're bigger than life to them. To me, I see a woman who was, I heard your voice. And when I talked to you, you was like, nah, I just want to lay down. And I'm like, I don't like it. And you were like, but I'm tired. I don't have nobody to drive me. I don't have anybody to take me. I'm just going to lay down and I'm going to go back tomorrow. And I was like, okay, well, call me. and then I didn't hear from you, and then when I finally did, it's like, Lord,
Yeah.
she could have laid down and I got back up.
Yeah, and even after coming home, I had 2 more scares where I almost could have lost my life. But again, to God be the glory.
Amen.
You know, He placed, you know, those individuals that I could call upon in my life, you know what I'm saying, to get me to where I needed to be, to, you know, make sure that I was taken care of. So,
Because even on the other side of that, most people don't know, you couldn't sing for a while.
nope. With tubes being shoved down my throat, especially more than once, it definitely damaged my vocal cords. So, I was informed by the ENT doctor that I couldn't sing for at least 3 months. So, you know, that scared me because I did not know, you know, what I was going to be able to do vocally after healing, you know, because they were saying, Miss Lee, it's really going to take a while. It's going to take a long time for your nose to heal. So, nose, you know, throat, you know, all of that, you know, kind of coincides and works together. So definitely I couldn't rupture anything that was done also too in my nose, even with the vibrations of singing. So, you know, I was really scared, but I knew how to pray. And I just prayed and asked God for total healing. And He did just that. So again, I am so grateful to still be able to do what I love. You know, to finally be back in this element, you know, that I'm in, and be on stage and be able to rock out, you know, not be scared, not, you know, feel like, oh my God, you know, is my nose gonna stop bleeding, you know. So it's been a tough ride, but, you know, finally I can say, you know, I feel like I'm like 100% back.
Because you've been back on stage.
Yes.
It's the Queens of Go-Go.
Yes.
And how has that been? Because you've gotten to work with 2 different sets of ladies that I've seen so far lately. Mm-hmm. So how has that been so far? How's that transition been?
Oh man, it's amazing. I love the opportunity to be able to work with women in go-go that I haven't worked with before. But again, in doing so, you know, there are different personalities and, you know, different things, you know, that you deal with different, you know, females in go-go. And again, I just, you know, have to deal with things the best way that I can when problems arise, because, you know, I do understand that everything is not always going to be peaches and cream. You know, you're going to have issues. You're going to have a problem here or there. So, you know, I try to work through those issues and those problems as best as I can to try to still make things happen. And, you know, folks really don't realize sometimes you can have one issue that will pop up that will just throw everything off. So, you know, again, you know, coming back to this too, you know, I had to be like, well, Kimise, is this too much for you? You know, coming back from healing and, you know, trying not to, you know, stress myself out, you know, so that, because I had an issue even with my pressure, even after coming home, you know, and I wasn't even really doing anything. But, you know, again, my pressure was in the 200. Or when I would sing, it would, you know, jump up as well. So I was just like, oh God, when is this going to end? But, you know, yeah, I just try to, you know, stay calm in any given situation and handle things the best way that I can, you know. And it's about, you know, networking a lot, really, and getting on the phone, talking to this person, that person, you know, making sure that things go smoothly. And if someone backs out, if someone can't do it, you know, for whatever reason, bam, you got to get on the horn and, you know, find a replacement or the next person. So, you know, and dealing with the Queens of Go-Go, it's not easy because you have to, you know, make sure that things line up and things come together, you know. And with using my band, you know, they're great musicians, talented musicians. But at the same time, they have a lot of material that they're learning for, different females that are coming in, because it may not be certain songs that we already know. So they have to take that time, to learn new material. And then sometimes they will do that, and then the person don't show up. So, all I will say, I will say to the women in go-go, that, wouldn't mind being a part of the Queens of Go-Go, and, just coming together and doing shows with the Queens of Go-Go, to just kind of make sure, that you have your priorities in order, as a woman, as an artist. It means a lot, and I know we all go through things, but, at the same time, you have to make sure that you got your priorities together, because it's not just you, it's a group of women, a group of individuals that are trying to make sure that we on top of things for you, especially if it's a performance and you're a part of it.
So basically, it becomes a waste of time.
Yeah.
Creative efforts
money,
and all of those things. Yeah,
rehearsal
time. All
it
of those
costs.
things cost money. Yeah. And then also, it costs you time away from your family that you've wasted because this person is not showing up. And they're
Absolutely.
just not communicating properly, which I think is bad business etiquette. Because everyone has to be on the same page, especially when it's a performance that is being promoted and your face is on the flyer.
Yeah.
And it's already a crazy stigma, like we spoke about, around women in this culture. Let's get into it. I talked to you during COVID, prior to you getting sick, and you were saying, I need help because I don't feel like it's enough unity in this culture. Especially from the women. Because you feel like we're so few and far in between that we're scattered, and the misconception that all women are catty is really playing out into real life. So we're now in a situation where unity is needed. So you were like, I'm going to do a brunch. And I was like, well, how do we go about doing it?
Yeah.
Like, how do we start? Do we invest in a space and get food only for people not to show up, like you were just saying with the Queens of Go-Go?
Right.
Or do we do it a way where maybe we start out virtual, do a couple Zoom meetings, see if we can get together, meet for a drink or two, and then go from there? Tell me why you feel like the unity is needed now.
I'm going to say now more so than ever. There's a lot of folks that feel like, it's competition between the women in go-go. Me, myself, I never look at what I do as competition, because everybody has their own talent. I can't be you, you can't be me. I know Belladonna is another all-female band out here. It's all love. I've sat in with Belladonna several times. And much love to the women of Belladonna. And their style, of playing is very different from Inspired Soul's style of playing. We both play go-go, but, I think, the dynamics of things and the different musicians, you get different sounds, you get different vibes. So, again, I would never look at it as competition. I love these women. I look up to, a lot of the women in go-go, period. And it seems like when we try to come together, or even shows, we've tried to come together with Belladonna and do, like, it will never happen, or it never, forms for whatever reasons. But, I'm like, why we can't? We all women in go-go, why we can't come together and rock out, after one another. And I don't care nothing about no clout. I don't care nothing about who been doing it the longest. I don't care nothing about who think who better than who. If we gotta go first, hey, I don't care. I don't care nothing about that. That means nothing to me. And it should just be about love. Love should conquer. Love should overtake everything. You know what I mean? And it should never be about competition, because it's enough out here for everybody. Like, you know, like I said when I came in here, I can't keep up with all the bands that's out here, and it's a lot of great bands, a lot of new great bands out here. And I think everybody kind of gets their chance or their opportunity to shine, you know, however you do. And with the women in go-go, you know, if you really truly feel like you have love for all the women in go-go, and especially after all we've been through with this whole pandemic, with us not being able to perform, not even knowing when we can get back to doing what we love, you know what I'm saying, and support our family, support us, you know, I think it's very important that we come together, you know what I'm saying. And although we have ladies out there that's been doing it, you know, for a long time, you know, I say never feel like you're too good or you're too great to be a part of something because you've been doing it for a long time. And even me, myself, you know what I'm saying? I can say that I'm a vet in this too, but I will never think I'm too good, you know, because there's always someone out there greater.
Listen.
There's always someone out there greater.
God made you. He made one you, but he made somebody else
hey,
that might
listen,
be more talented.
Yes.
Or maybe better with something that you
and much
do as
love
well.
and respect, you know, to those women that are just out here doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need more of. We need to support one another and love on one another, you know what I'm saying, as women. Build each other up, lift each other up. So definitely that's what I would like to do, bring more unity among us, you know what I'm saying, and not the snobbiness or I think I'm better than you, or I don't want to be a part of this because of, you know, your little reservations or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let's come together, you know, as women in go-go. Let's network. Let's encourage one another. Let's support one another. Let's come together when we can and do shows together. You know, each show that I do with the Queens of Go-Go, I want to be able to feature someone new. And, you know, when Kim Scott came along, she was like, oh, you know, the thing with me, her, and Talisa worked so well. She was like, let's make this a thing. And I was like, yeah, we could make it a thing, but this is not my vision. You know what I'm saying? I want to give other women an opportunity to come in and be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? For us to rock out amongst each other. So definitely, you know, and some of the women in go-go, if you're listening to this interview and you want to be a part, please reach out to me, you know, because I don't have everybody's information, and I don't want it to be a thing where, you know, somebody sitting back saying, oh, she ain't think about me, or she ain't call me.
I've seen it.
So, yeah, call me, though.
But I've seen it.
Listen.
Why is she considered a queen and nobody called me or picked me or me?
Hey, the opportunity is open for all the women in go-go. And that's what this is about. So if you want to be a part, and I haven't had the chance or the opportunity to call you yet, maybe I didn't get around to it. But, yeah, please call me, because we want to keep this thing going, you know. And when I started this, you know, I talked to a friend of mine, Rob Jones, who has been helping me, you know, with the Queens of Go-Go. So definitely, you know, I know we both want to, you know, do whatever we can, and we will continue to do whatever we can to see to it that we continue, you know, doing these shows. But definitely, ladies, don't make it hard on us. Don't make it hard on us.
Come get featured, but actually show up to your show.
Yeah, and this is a paid show. It's not like we're asking you to come and do anything for free, you know. And maybe if the budget even is not what you want, You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could talk about it. But, again, I think it's reasonable, you know what I'm saying, for what we're doing. But some folks feel like, oh, I'm worth more than that. But, sometimes you got to give back a little bit, Sometimes you got to compromise a little bit, because, again, this is something that we're trying to do to create the unity amongst the females in go-go. So I may not be able to pay you $300, or I may not be able to pay you $500, but it'll definitely be something worthwhile, to where it's not disrespectful. You know what I mean? So yeah, ladies, if y'all listening, please, don't be afraid. Is it okay to say my number on here?
Yes.
Please reach out to me.
You say go ahead.
Don't do it, Montu. Don't do it.
You say go ahead.
Okay. Please call me 240-832-6750.
Because basically this opportunity is an opportunity to feature with someone other than your band, and to be able to get showcased on your songs, like your signature song, a song that you love to do, a song that you may not necessarily get to do with your band that often, but you get to crank it with a whole nother band, with a whole new ear, with a whole different style. Yeah. So I feel like that's a dope opportunity, and I think it's pretty awesome that you guys are actually stepping up to do that, because it's a lot of people that will be like,
It's not easy. Trust me. It is not an easy job. But, again, when God leads you to do something, you do it, and although it may not be easy all the time, I believe if God drops something in your spirit, he'll give you the tools, to be able to move forward, and be successful in it. So, although every time may not be an easy process, I have to be able to still push through. So I'm going to continue pushing through for my ladies.
I'm excited. So, ladies, if you would like to be a part of the Queens of Go-Go, please reach out to Kimise. You can inbox her. She just gave you your number. Y'all can rewind this live and write it down if you need to. But you guys can definitely reach out to her, inbox her. And what else would you like to do to help with the unity outside of doing that project? What else would you like to do? Because we talked about sitting down, doing a brunch, doing a couple of other things. So what other things do you think would be good to help to bridge the gap in which you feel like is the dysfunction and the unity for women in the culture of go-go?
Well, with doing a brunch, again, I know we all as artists or females in go-go have been through things in life, you know what I'm saying? And we've been through traumatic things in life. And sometimes we may not have sought the proper help. We may not have gotten the therapy that we need. Or, we can be able to take our situations of what we've gone through and be able to help someone else. So definitely with having the brunch, or maybe doing a whole nother event where it can be like a empowerment event, for the women in go-go. Because outside of go-go, we go through different things and different issues that we're dealing with and we're struggling with, and even inside of go-go. Another interview I spoke on, a conversation that me and Miss Kim had. And again, I don't want to tell her story. That's for her to tell. And that's something that I would like for her to share. Like if we do, I'm not going to say if we do, when we do have this empowerment event, or even the brunch, however we choose to do it, I would like for Miss Kim to share her story. I would like for other women in go-go to share their story, because when talking to her, there's certain things that she's experienced that I would never believe. And it really hurt my heart to know that a beautiful queen or a beautiful woman in this industry has gone through such disheartening things. And I'm just like, wow, you had to live through that. You had to endure that. You had to perform through that. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? But you still standing. You still rocking. You still with your, whole full-fledged game face on like you ain't
Like
nothing.
everything's good.
Yeah, like ain't nothing happened. So, but definitely when we go home, we don't know what we deal with internally. When we're by ourselves, people don't know what we go through. So, definitely I want to encourage the women in go-go, and yeah, let's talk about some of this stuff, and let's help each other through some of the traumatic things that we've experienced.
Do you think that part of the problem with the culture is that we work directly through the trauma most of the time? Like no one takes time off. It's right back to the stage.
Yeah, that's part of it. And I do have a respect for a young lady who said to me, I need to take some time. I need to work on me. I need to seek the professional help. Because if I don't, I can't go on, or I can't perform and do what I love. And when it gets to the point where it's interfering with your life, you definitely have to take that space and that time, to love on you and to heal and to get through what you need to get through so that you can be able to move forward.
So what are some tips that you would give to help for healing? Because being a performer, being in the public eye, and go-go is a day in, day out genre. It is not I'm going to wait 20 years, go on tour, get this bag, and then sit down for another 7 and do a farewell tour and then retire and come back and do it all again. It's not that type of genre.
Mm-hmm.
Life doesn't stop.
Right.
So what are some of the things that Kimise does to help her deal with life while still being a performer?
Wow. If I could just say, I've been through a lot of traumatic things in my lifetime. I've dealt with rape. I've dealt with physical abuse. I've dealt with molestation. Dealt with a lot, but in it all, I have a friend in Jesus that I can go to at any time. I can get on my knees, I can pray, and I think most of all, that's a lot of what got me through. Because sometimes we don't have the physical person to talk to, or we may be afraid to share certain things with even our parents or people that are closest to us.
Fear, judgment, and shame.
And they don't understand it, like, well, why you didn't come talk to me? But sometimes, you just need to deal with things in a certain way, or you just don't know how to deal with it. But and definitely pray, but seek professional help. Is another thing that I would say, because a lot of us are walking around still broken, and we're dealing with all of these different things, all of these different shames, and we don't have anybody that we can rely on, or we can, kind of talk to and trust. It's a trust barrier too, because you just can't talk to anybody about anything.
Facts.
People will never know what you've been through unless, you share it. And I'm not afraid, to speak out on what I've gone through, because that's part of my healing process. So, but everybody is not like me, and I understand that people deal with different things in different ways. So, definitely take the time you need, to deal with your issue, your problem, whatever it is that you're going through. But if you need some kind of counseling, you need professional help, definitely seek it. If you don't have someone that you can trust, that you can talk to, and take that time for yourself. Do what it is you need to do to heal. You may need to just be in a quiet place, or take a trip by yourself, meditate, prayer, all of that helps, align yourself back up to where you need to be. So, yeah.
Billie Jean has a comment for you, and I want to read it.
Okay.
She said, I admire your strength and have a new admiration for you as a woman, Kimise Lee. Such a great interview.
Wow. Thank you, Billie Jean.
Yeah, see, the thing about it is, on the outside looking in, we never ever know what the next person is struggling with or going through. And in this culture called go-go, where we never stop because it's meant to keep you going, a lot of us are dealing with stuff ourselves, and we're so far into ourselves that we don't really know or understand. And sometimes people don't share with what's going on. And then it's, again, the thing with women, it becomes just this stigma to where we can't trust one another, we can't talk to one another, we can't rely on one another. So it's like you're long suffering alone. And I do agree with you. I do feel like we're at a place and at a point where we got to sit down and start having these tough conversations, because the mental illness aspect of it in this culture is starting to show itself. It started to manifest very hard during COVID. It has started to unravel and unroll in a lot of different places. You're starting to see it. A lot of these live streams, a lot of these posts people make, a lot of these reactions when people aren't picked to be a part of certain things, you get to see what it really is. So I feel like we are at that place. I was joking with Sue earlier, and I was like, I think I need to go back to school to become a counselor, because I feel like go-go needs some type of counseling, or we need some type of mental health institute for our performing artists who don't know how to deal with grief, who don't know how to deal with trauma, who are still holding on to traumas from back then, who still, and this is no disrespect to anybody, this is just my opinion, my view, who are still holding on to those good old days when they were carefree and money was flowing and they didn't have responsibilities or obligations. And that's not what it is when we're living in a recession and gas is damn near $6 a gallon. Like, that's not what it is. You got to give your fans something to come out for, because I'm not going to keep chasing you around the city and you giving me the same set every night. I'm not doing it. My money matters. My time matters. And your time as a performer matters. So I feel like the mental health aspect is a big thing. So you internalized a lot for a very long time. Let's talk about the mental health aspect. What did that internalization of all of those things do to you?
Well, let me say this. I was sharing a lot, even when I was in the hospital. I had a couple of, videos or something that I had posted. And somebody said to me, well, I didn't pay any attention to what was going on or what really happened with you, because a lot of times people do things for attention.
Bingo.
And I said, wow.
Bing bong.
Wow. I never even thought that somebody would feel that way.
That's where we are as a society right now.
I never once thought that somebody would look at my video and think that. But, people are entitled to their own opinion.
Correct.
And, going through things, like even at the time, I was still kind of a bit disoriented when I did do, a few things, but I was still trying to just gather myself and really realize like what I was going through. You know what I'm saying? I was, happy to kind of still be in touch with the world, after experiencing what I went through. And, a lot of this stuff for me, it's hard, you know what I'm saying? And dealing with it on your own is hard. So you get to a place where, you start eating out of emotion. Certain things with your health could take a turn just out of emotion and what you're going through. You know, and as we had a conversation earlier with me being on prednisone.
I hate it.
Prednisone can cause you to gain so much weight. And let me tell you, I worked so hard after having weight loss surgery, after working out every day, you know what I'm saying, to come down and to lose weight and get to where I wanted to be. I worked hard. But going through this pandemic, dealing with different issues, dealing with a lot of hurt, caused me to be in a place where food was my comfort.
Emotional eating,
Along with the weight gain from the prednisone.
I told you.
That didn't help at all.
60 pounds in 3 months, baby.
So listen,
Easy though.
I don't even want to talk about pounds, but
Easy. But
you
it
know,
happened so easy.
It did.
And you didn't even, like, you were taking your medication, you start feeling better, and then your snack cabinet gets bigger.
Yes.
And then the snacks with you everywhere you go.
And ultimately, you want to be happy with
Yes.
you inside and out, because if you're not, you know what I'm saying, you don't feel like you're good enough for
Correct.
anyone else.
Correct.
So in that case, you know, and I love me, you know, I love me, but at the same time, you know, we all have a certain appearance that we want to give off, or we have a certain way that we like to see ourselves, or we want to look. So, you know, definitely that plays a part, you know.
And this
on
culture
your
has body
mind.
images for women.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
let's not play the game. Like, let's not skip around it.
Yeah,
Elephant
yeah.
in the room. This culture has body image expectations for
Absolutely.
women. You are supposed to be the sexy one up on the stage.
Yep.
You are supposed to be the eye candy. And life happens.
And that's a lot of pressure, you know, on a person when you feel like you don't fit the bill or you don't look the part. So, you know, for me, you know, I just started back in the gym last week.
I told you I'm so happy
So
for you.
it feels good. It feels great. So I'm just, you know, I'm going to just keep going at it, you know, and keep trying to better myself, you know, in every aspect of life, you know, and especially after what I've gone through, you know, like I said, each day is a blessing that I can just wake up and open my eyes and plant my feet on the ground. So, which is another day that I have opportunities, another day that I have to accomplish my goals, another day that I have to, you know, see to it that my dreams come true. So, you know, I'm going to keep pressing, you know, and keep doing what it is that I need to do for Kimise and making sure Kimise is okay. And at the end of the day, I'm happy with me.
So self-preservation is definitely the number one rule.
Yes.
If you're grieving, if you're going through it, you need to seek some help.
Definitely.
And the stage can't always be your full therapy.
Nope.
Because I've noticed a lot of people have triggers.
Mm-hmm.
And COVID has shown me, I'm sorry, I'm going to cut my eyes over because I know. I'm a journalist. I watch everything. If I miss it, I don't miss it. But a lot of triggers have started to show for a lot of people. And I feel like in this culture, people have a tendency to walk around on eggshells to not trigger a person's trigger, instead of the person with the trigger learning how to control the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's become the norm in this culture. So as a manager and a band owner and a woman, how does Kimise deal with that? Outside of prayer, that deep breath said, it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. Mine is just really going and racing, you know, right now too. So I really didn't even get the full gist of what you just asked me. So
I got you.
kind of give
I
it to
got
me
you.
again.
How do you deal with, so in your band, you know that some of your band members may have triggers.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't purposely trigger people. It may be something slight that you may do. How do you deal with those triggers? Being a woman, we have a tendency to personalize sometimes because we're emotional too.
Mm-hmm.
And why would she do that knowing that? And sometimes people react.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So how do you deal with that? How do you work
With
through those?
other people's triggers or my triggers?
All of the above. How do you deal with your triggers? Because I know you have them. How do you deal with your triggers first and then others' triggers?
Man, my triggers, it's hard because I'm just real, and sometimes things just kind of come out and I don't even think about it or realize it until after the fact that it's already done. And I be like, dang, did I just do that? Or did I just say that? Or did this just happen this way? Like, oh man, my bad. I'm sorry. And if I feel bad about something, or if I feel like I've wronged someone, I apologize, number one, and make sure that, they're okay, or they don't feel some type of way. And sometimes people don't. They be like, oh, I ain't even, think about it like that. Or I ain't, yeah. And I was like, but dang, I ain't even have to say nothing.
But you did.
But I did, because I felt uneasy about it. So, but yeah, that for me, dealing with my triggers, I guess that's how, I deal with it. But someone else's triggers, and again, that's so hard because you have to be careful not to offend people, when they're stuck in a certain way or they want to do things with a ghetto mentality and not be professional. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. And again, if these are individuals that you're working with on a daily basis, you have to, still make sure that you go to that extent to make sure that you treat the relationship fairly.
The way you value it.
Yeah, because sometimes people don't understand certain things, somehow some people, like if they grow up a certain way, this is all they know, so they may not know, how to do things this way or how to do this professionally or, what have you. But again, at some point, I think it deserves a conversation because at the end of the day, you're going to still end up with a person repeating, the same behavior. And if you expect a change, then you have to address it, but again, just make sure that you're using the right words and treating the situation and the person with respect
at all times. So
yeah.
What is next for you, the independent artist? Not Inspired Soul, Kimise Lee.
I've been thinking about that because I'm just kind of been pulled in different directions and helping this person. I've been featuring with Air Raid 2.0. I have my own band, Inspired Soul. I still get the vibe features. So it's a lot, and then to hold down a regular job. And I have a nephew that, I'm caring for that stays with me, weekly.
He's so adorable.
Thank you. And he's with his dad for the summer. He just left. So I have a little break. But yeah, it's a lot going on with me right now. And I thought about it just the other day and I said, Kimise, you have to find some time to set aside for you and Inspired Soul. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because number one for me, because I am still an artist, people still want to hear new music from me and they voiced it. So, especially when the people speak, you want to, grant them that opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to hear something new from you and support you. But, and also Inspired Soul, that's my baby, and that's something that God allowed me to build and put together. So I definitely, want to be able to put something out with us, that's nice, that's cranking, so it's going to take some time. So I'm praying and asking God to, help me, line my schedule up to be able to do that, It's coming. You know, I don't have, no dates, and it's not physically in the works as of yet, but trust me, it's coming.
Okay. I'm gonna hold you to that. I'll be calling you in about a month and a half to see what your progress is.
And look, people be like, look, what you been through, girl, I know you got testimony.
Yes.
So the inspirational side of things, they want to hear that kind of stuff. They want to hear the crank too. They want to hear the go-go stuff. So, and I'm glad that I could be versatile with that. And it was something else I wanted to say too, and I kind of lost the train of thought. But I want to say to Billie Jean, if she's still listening, I know she reached out to me a couple of times to be a part of something that she was doing, and at the time I was busy and I couldn't be a part, but definitely Billie Jean in the future, if it's something that I can do and I'm available, definitely please don't hesitate to reach out again, just because I wasn't available when you reached out the first time. And you are one of the women in go-go that I would love to feature, so definitely let's talk.
Billie Jean on the scene.
Let's talk, Billie Jean.
Yeah, I would love that. I think that would be a dope feature.
Yeah.
Billie Jean on the scene. I think that would definitely be a dope feature. Speaking of Billie Jean on the scene, I will have her, Trey, and Sydney in studio live next week. So that's
awesome.
going to be a super dope interview. The Frontline and Re-Up will be here. Catch up with them a little bit. But I think that would be a great collab between y'all. She said, okay, thank you so much. Already text you. So you
all right. Yay. Won't he do it?
You should have a text message coming through. I want to say thank you for the project. Always for your transparency with me, because it's never been anything but that. And for trusting me, because we've had some talks. And I honestly and truthfully appreciate you. Because before getting to know Kimise, I was a fan of Kimise. So to experience you being what I thought you were gives me hope in this culture. Because it's a lot of people that are not what you think they are. And it's not a bad thing, because we as human beings put expectations on people ourselves without even knowing them. You expect them to be, I think he's gonna be like, he should be like, and when they're not, we end up disappointing ourselves. But that's our fault, because we put the expectation on the person. But I want to thank you for never giving up, because I know we talked, and I know you wanted to walk away several times. I know it's been moments when you and you don't cuss, but I wanted to say it, fuck this shit for you. You know what I mean, but you're not gonna be like, man, fuck this shit. Sorry to say it that way, but you get what I'm saying.
I got you.
Yeah, it hasn't been that with you. It has always been I gotta figure it out. Mm-hmm. I want to figure it out. It's a way we can figure it out.
Man, but I still had my moments. Even recently I had a moment where I was like, man, I don't even have to do this.
I got a real life. I got a job. I got a baby I'm taking care of. What keeps you here?
The love of the music. As I tell people, man, it's in my veins. I grew up on it. When, my family or my dad, being a pastor, was hard on me. You have to choose. You can't straddle the fence. And I'm like, who says who? This is what I love to do. This is what I grew up on. I don't see any wrong in it. I don't feel convicted. If you living in the olden days, or the Kojic days, or what they feel like they believe that the church should do, or you as a Christian should do, I don't feel that way. And at the end of the day, I have to answer to God for what I do.
Period.
And if I don't feel convicted, and if God is not telling me what I'm doing is wrong, then no, I'm not gonna stop doing it, because ultimately I was trying to please other people when I left, go to do gospel or to do an inspirational project, because, I felt like that's what I had to do, because that's what my father wanted as a pastor, or that's what, the pressure of the church was putting on me. But I don't think there's anything wrong with what I do, and in a club setting, I was able to reach plenty of people, you know, who would say to me, "You just don't know what you did for me." Sometimes come up to me in tears, you know, dealing with issues or dealing with something. And it's like your voice, you know, something about your voice that just did something for me. You know, so and having a young lady come up to me and tell me that I saved her life. You know, moments like that are priceless. And it doesn't matter, you know, whether you're in a church setting or you're in a club setting. As long as you can reach somebody, you're still fellowship. You're still fellowship. And you're still doing the Lord's work. Absolutely.
The Lord's work is not only inside His house. That's what we call it. And that's your community. That's your community. So give some advice to up-and-coming artists.
Don't let anybody come in between your money, your hustle, if you can help it.
Yeah, that part. It's that part.
And I mean, that was some of the advice I gave Brandy, you know, because, you know, a lot of people say, well, Dirk is a hard person to deal with, but, you know, and he is, you know. You my brother Dirk, I still love you, but you are who you are. And I said, girl, listen here, at the end of the day, don't let nothing get between your breeds, you know, because she was having a difficult time starting out. And, you know, even he said, man, what you filling her head with? And I'm like, no, nothing negative, you know. I was all for it, you know. I love Brandy with and I'll say it over and over again, I love her with them. You know, but yeah, I just, you know, I had some good advice for her to, you know, hey, hang in there, you know, because you ain't ready to bail out. And I'm like, no. You know, and me being, you know, the former lady of Vibe, I could have been like, girl, go on. Yeah, you go ahead. I'm going to slide right on back on in. But no, you know, God ain't give me that kind of heart. I ain't like that. You know, but yeah, definitely, you know, have fun with what you do. When it gets tough and it gets rough, try your best to just work your way through it. You know, especially if this is something that you love to do and this is what you see yourself doing. Because a lot of people could feel like they get locked into, you know, something that's just in the inner city, you know, like they don't have the opportunity here to go further with their career. But again, you know, you're doing it for the culture, you're doing it for your fans, people that come out and support you, you know. Hey, God will open up other doors and other opportunities for you to travel and do it, you know, other places too. So yeah, push through them hard times. As a female, and
act, respond.
if you need to step away, still be able to be successful, man, it's been, over 20 some years. So, I'm grateful, and I thank everyone that continues to support what I do and support, Song Bird Kimise. I truly, truly appreciate you a million times over. And I just want to say too, Kapri, thank you. Thank you for thinking of me, to come and share my story and, my triumphs, my hardships. And thank you for allowing me to be transparent.
Oh, listen, I know that in this culture, it's hard. People look at you and view you a certain way, and then some people feel like you're being a crybaby, and women are too emotional. But there's so many stories in this culture that I know that need to be spoken out loud, because someone somewhere is going through what you're going through, and they didn't even know that you survived it, and they're in the midst of it right now, thinking they can't survive it.
Hey, we are overcome by the powers of our testimony.
Yes.
And that's why I share so much of what I share of myself. It's not me seeking attention. It's me trying to help someone else. If I can help someone else through, a similar situation that I'm going through, or, they may not even see a way out, but just hearing my testimony may help them. So I will never stop sharing my testimony for no one.
Out loud.
Out loud.
Without fear.
With pride.
Yes.
And sharing it proudly.
Yes. Because you are not the sum of the things that you've been through.
That's right.
You are what has overcome them. Those things don't define you.
Yep.
And I want to tell you, thank you. I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
I'm so
thank
proud
you.
of you. Because I know coming in here can be, it seems cool till you sit down and it's like, what the hell is she going to ask me? Because I just told her she could ask me anything. What is she going to ask me?
Right.
But it's more like a flowing conversation, because we've had the talks before, we've spoken before, and I knew a part of the story, but I felt like all of it needed to be told. And I want to thank you for allowing me to be the tour guide through it, and for allowing No Gray Area, Team Mitchcraft, who was definitely my sponsor, Love DC Go-Go, to be the platform to express it and share it.
Oh, and I didn't share about how Song Bird Seafood Pies came about.
Oh,
either.
come on, let's get into those, because I love those.
We got time, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But during the pandemic, a friend of mine made a crab pie, and I was like, oh, I want to make one of those. But again, I never had the recipe, or, didn't know how to make one. So Bobby, Westmoreland.
Hey, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby. She posted one day that she made a crab pie, and someone in the comment section asked her for the recipe, and she also shared the recipe. Because I was trying to get this recipe from my good girlfriend who didn't want to give up her recipe. So I was like, all right. So when I saw Bobby's recipe, I was like, ooh, okay, I'm going to try this thing. So when I did it, I said, but you know what? I'm going to do something else. I'm going to add this in there. I'm going to add that in there. Because I'm a food connoisseur, and I eat weird.
Me too. I love different flavors.
Yes. So I said, I'm going to try all of this. So I added the shrimp. I added the Dungeness crab meat. I added the snow crab meat. I added the lobster with the lump crab meat. And girl, I posted it. And just posting it is just for me, saying, like, I did this. Not as to say, do you want to order?
Where do I send my money?
But listen, when I posted that thing on Facebook, people was like, wait, what's that? Like, how can I get that? Can I order? Where you get that from? I want to order one. And I was like, wait a minute, what's happening? What's going on here? So I was like, people want to order this. I was like, well, I guess I could start making people something they want to order. So it started out me doing one here, one there, one here, one there. So I started posting more, and people kept saying, "Oh, that look good. What's in it?" And how can I order? How can I place my order? So, and it just kind of just blew up.
Yeah, I was blessed to work a couple pop-ups with you, and I saw how it went.
Man, and I was asking God because financially I was hurting, and I was like, Lord, what am I going to do? I can't perform. I can't, make up that extra money that I need. Like, what am I going to do? Like, Lord, I need you to open up another door of opportunity. And before I knew it, I was selling Songbird seafood pies. So, again, I just thank God, man, for always, making things come about, making ways out of no way, and, getting me through. And from there, even right now, today, I'm still making Songbird seafood pies. I ain't made no egg rolls in a minute, but them Songbird seafood pies, man, people want them.
Moving.
And people are like, when I got sick, they was like, please let me know when you back making pies. You back in the kitchen yet?
That's
I'm
horrible.
like, what?
Let me rest, please.
What? But yeah, man, I've been back and, been making them. So again, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful.
So give them your contact information. I want people to be able to follow you on social media, to reach out to you. If they want food, if they want music, if they want to be a part of the Queens of Go-Go, how can they find Kimise Lee?
Well, listen, I am on all of your social media platforms. I am on Twitter at Songbird Kimise. I am on IG at Queen Songbird Kimise. If you want to follow the band Inspired Soul at Inspired Soul Band on IG, and that's with the letter N. So NSPIRED Soul Band on IG. I'm on Facebook as Kimise Lee. I also have an artist page that is Songbird Kimise, or Kimise Songbird Lee, I think it is. I'm sorry. And Inspired Soul Band is also on Facebook as well, so they can connect. And you can connect with me directly at 240-832-6750.
So for all bookings, for all things Kimise Lee, she done dropped every handle for herself, Inspired Soul. Make sure you guys follow her if you have not. Do so now. Like, as soon as this is over, like, head on over to follow her. Stay tuned. She'll be dropping when she's making more seafood pies, but she does not make 50 of them. It's a limited amount, so you better get in on ground zero.
Holidays is crazy.
Yeah.
And I can't have no more friends on Facebook. I reached my limit, but you can still follow me.
Yeah. Yeah, once you get that 5,000, it can still become followers.
Yeah, and I made a second page, but you know what? It's really no use because I don't have the time to run 2 pages. That's a lot. I tried.
I know I've been struggling with it.
I tried.
I've been struggling with it. I have a backup page because I have a backup page. So it's been like, I just built this page to where it is because my other page, it's just been, thank you, YouTube, for being so stable and a safe place for creators. Thank you, YouTube. Shout out to all the subscribers over on YouTube. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, tell a friend and step on in. But thank you. I appreciate you so much.
I can't wait to hug you after this.
I know. I gotta say my God bless and good night so we can get our Kiki time in off the air. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and for stepping in. Shout out to Kimise for her transparency, her love, and her light right here on No Gray Area. You guys, this episode is sponsored and powered by none other than Mitchcraft. Head on over to www.crankrock.com for the latest and greatest in Mitchcraft attire, or meet us in store, 9244 East Hampton Drive, Capitol Heights, Maryland, Suite 201. We are open Wednesday through Sunday starting at 12 o'clock. Come through, get you something fly to wear here, there, and everywhere. And if you're looking for me, you can catch me hosting and moving and spinning it in somewhere out here in these streets. Make sure you guys are following me so you can get your information to catch us out and about. I want to say thank you to Thank you to Kimise, and thank you to each and every one of you for stepping on in. I'm going to say God bless and good night.
God bless y'all. Good night.
Good night, guys. See you soon. Next week, Billie Jean, Trey, and Sid of Rhea, right here in the No Gray area. It's your girl, Kapri, Monique, the voice of the people. I'm out. Peace.